list is gonna mess me up. Alright, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? This is the greatest fanboy of all time. This weekend we just came off a win against the Baltimore Ravens. It was a huge win, very huge win, guys. We're in our Browns gear. Anyway, we had a top 5. The Ravens are a top 5 defense. They were a top 5 defense. They probably still are. They held us to 12 points. Their offense was also top 5. They're probably not top 5 anymore. So basically, top 5 defense, top 5 offense.
You know, they were ranked top 5 in almost everybody's power rankings going into that weekend.
Were they?
Absolutely.
I did not know that. No.
So who would you rank as your top 5?
Oh yeah, my top 5. The Chiefs, the Saints. I would have the Eagles on there. I would have Chiefs, Saints, Eagles.
The Rams, obviously.
Rams, of course. Who was my last team? Vikings. I would have the Vikings up there.
Okay, that's a pretty good top 5.
Yeah. What about your top 5?
I kind of agree with that. I like the Rams at 1. I still say the Chiefs probably at number 2. I really like the Tennessee Titans and what they're doing right now.
I do like the Titans, but
I'm a defensive guy, so I would probably say, even though they're struggling right now, I know they're going to get Fournette back, so I really like Jacksonville probably at number 4. And then if I was going to go number 5, I can't leave out the Saints. I think they're going to be a tough out. I love everything they got about them. They've got to pick up their defensive side of the ball, but I think they'll do that. And I really like Drew Brees. You know, he's going for the record tonight as far as he'll be, you know, the passer in the NFL with the most yards ever.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
It
and
is a
then,
new kind of
you know,
league,
Ingram
still.
is back from
Ingram
his
is
suspension.
back. Yes, he is.
Kamara, and then Michael Thomas. I mean, he's unstoppable.
Basically,
so
they got weapons.
I don't see them not making the NFC Championship game. I just don't see it.
Okay. Anyway, like we were saying, that's our top 5. But a lot of people would say the Ravens are top 5, and we beat a top 5 team this weekend. So that was a big win for us.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and jump into the Chargers versus Browns matchup. So the Chargers, like I think of them as a very streaky team.
They are very streaky.
Very streaky.
They're not playing really well right now.
Yes, they are. They're 3-2, not bad. Or 2-3, one of the two. Either way, the Chargers.
They were expected to be like one of the best premier teams of the AFC. People were wondering if they would get a fast start because they always get a slow start, and they have not. And their number one problem has been their offensive line. And it's been pathetic.
And they have a very talented roster. If you look at it, they're a top 5 team, talented. I mean, roster wise, but they always play down to other people's competition in that kind of level. But anyway, so if you look at that offense, let's go ahead and look into that talent that the Chargers have. It starts with Phillip Rivers. He's been great there for many years.
The best, one of the best, anyhow.
Great quarterback, very good quarterback.
Melvin Gordon,
of course.
Eckler, that young kid's been phenomenal for them.
Eckler, and they got some wideouts too.
You got Mike Williams. He's been tremendous
Keenan
for them.
Allen.
They've been really good on the offensive side of the ball. And you got Antonio Gates, who's just, you know, he's a professional.
He's a professional.
Just does his job.
He's an old
Unfortunately, there's nobody to block for them.
Nobody to block. That offensive line is on PFF. Let's go ahead and use PFF. We love PFF, but their offensive line is one of the worst in the league. They have Russell Okung on that line. Some other trash niggas.
Dan Feeney. They have Dan Feeney on the line. Regardless of who they have out there, it's not coming together for them on the line-wise. And that is one of the strengths of the Cleveland Browns.
They have Pouncey.
They do have Pouncey, but it's not helping right now.
No, he's out of his mind.
And they are facing Myles Garrett, and they're facing Obadiah and Emmanuel Ogba, and I just don't see how they're going to be able to block Myles Garrett, period.
And the thing we can't miss out is he hasn't been getting much rave yet, and he's getting more snaps every game. But Jannard Avery, he's going to be – I feel like we wanted to draft Bradley Chubb. But Avery, he can get that other side. I don't know how good he is against the run yet, but he can get that other side for us.
And then there's Denzel Ward, who we did end up drafting number 4. And
he's a baller.
I bet he'll be matched up with Keenan Allen all day.
Yeah, he will.
Keenan Allen will have a tough day.
Much slower than what he was facing last week, but John Brown. So if we look at it, the Chargers have a very good offense. If you go into our offense, we have Baker Mayfield, he's looking really good this year.
But then the Chargers have probably one of the best secondaries in the league.
Yes, they do. But like I said, they play down. But they do have one of the best secondary, very similar to our secondary. There are some small corners on there, 5'10" corners. We got Jason Verrett,
Hayward.
really fast guy, really good at man coverage. They got Casey Hayward.
Derwin James.
Derwin James.
He's outside his mind.
And I say our defenses are similar, but if you throw Derwin James in there, it changes everything. He's a center field. He's a center field guy.
You wanted him really
Yes,
bad
I
in the
wanted
draft,
him.
huh?
He reminds me of Jalen Ramsey so much, except he's stronger. He's a little slower too, but he's stronger. I wanted Derwin James. He's leading that team with sacks, 4 sacks, which is ridiculous. He's a safety.
Well, that's because Joey Bosa's not been playing.
Yeah,
so let's be honest.
But
And we're going to take advantage
he
of
did
the
that
fact
in
that
college
he's not
too.
there.
He can block shit. He really can.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you play him in Madden, you're gonna want him. He can block shit.
Absolutely.
Yes, he can. But anyway, yeah. So that team has a really good defense. We have a great defense. If you saw what we did against Baltimore.
Our defense is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, you know, they get a lot of people kind of look at the Raider game and they say to themselves, you know,
Yeah.
that defense gave up 42 points. But, I mean, that offense put that defense
Yes,
in a
they did.
horrible situation after horrible situation.
But honestly, we still gave up 500 yards. But the thing is, like, when it happens a few times, it just keeps going. It goes. Once you let off a score, like, let's say you have 0 points in the game, 7 points becomes 14 to 21. It's that momentum.
A track meet is a track meet.
A track meet, yeah. But anyway, let's move on to the next. Our defense, like I said, Denzel Ward, he's a baller. Myles Garrett, he's, like we said, the offensive line in that Chargers is not very good. Myles Garrett is prone to have a big game.
What do you think about Schobert?
You know I love Schobert.
Do you think he's good enough?
Poor man's Luke Kuechly, guys. He is
Really poor man's Luka.
No, he's not really poor. He's great. He's a pro baller. Give him some respect, guys.
He's one of the weakest Pro Bowlers I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I want to look at his PFF this year. Like, he's really covering. He's there when he needs to be. He's dropping some interceptions just like Jabril, but
He's like Wayne Corbett of linebackers.
I don't know who that is.
I know you don't know what he is, but just not a lot of talent, but just gets there and does the job, you know?
Yeah, but our defense looks good. I think Myles Garrett's going to have a big game, and that's the big difference. No Joey Bosa on the other side, and Myles Garrett on our side, and I think that's the big difference in this game.
How do you feel about how Baker Mayfield played in the Ravens game?
No, I think Baker Mayfield played a really good, solid game. A lot of people think he played a great game. And that's because he's a rookie, so you say it's a great game. I think it was a good game. Baker Mayfield, to me, is not a rookie. He's a really good player.
You think he's going to end up being like a Hall of Famer?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I think he has a lot to grow. I think he has a lot of room to grow. I think he's going to become one of those flagship top 3 kind of quarterbacks.
All 4 of those rookie quarterbacks won this week. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. But I don't. Those wins weren't as impressive as that Ravens wins for Baker
I
Mayfield.
don't know. Sam Darnold was pretty good.
A lot different to me. Sam
was
Darnold was
dominant.
good against the Broncos, which is really great. But like,
It was the Broncos.
yeah, a good defense.
He
Really
was
good
dominant.
defense. But the thing is,
He's the next Peyton Manning.
no, he isn't.
He is.
I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I still think he's a bust, guys.
Sam Darnold's not a bust.
I was really hoping, like, if Sam Darnold against the Ravens, it would have been a bad game for us. And it's not that he's not a bust. He's a Blake Bortles, okay, guys?
Oh my gosh, that's awful to say.
He's not a bust.
Did you watch Blake yesterday?
Yeah,
He had at least 4 interceptions.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It was rough.
that's what if you guys are a Jets fan,
I feel like Jacksonville should have picked up Lamar Jackson during the draft. I thought that they were in position to do so.
That's a
I
nice
think it
fit.
would have changed
Really?
the way they play.
It would have been a nice fit. A lot of people would be excited for that.
They need a quarterback.
They do. Let's move on. I know I was making this video a little long. Let's go on to special teams. Our special teams is awful, guys. It is awful. We've allowed a few block kicks this year. You shouldn't allow.
Well,
a few.
you hired a guy. First of all, you let go of Chris Tabor, who was one of the best special
He
teams
raves about Chris
coaches.
Tabor. He loves Chris
He's one of
Tabor.
the best special teams coaches ever, not just Cleveland, but ever. And then you hire a guy who ranked 21st, and then Hugh doesn't go out and get anyone really to help him.
No, he doesn't. Like Amos Jones is his name. I've seen him a few times in the interview. He doesn't seem like when he was talking, he didn't seem like he was gonna fix anything. Like he was like, it happens, like that kind of.
He's just as confused.
It's terrible. And the Chargers special teams is better than ours. They have Travis Benjamin over there. He's a great deadly returner. He used to be with us.
We're gonna get another field goal block.
Yeah.
Watch every field goal. It's so close, even if they don't get
That's
it.
not even all it is. I think, like...
You know that game winner, Tony Jefferson touched it.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it looks so terrible. But, like, maybe he helped it go in. Who knows? But,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it looked good to me. But, anyway, yeah, like, we have a terrible special teams. Hue has to get that fixed. Like, that's... You can't lose games because of special teams.
If you had to make a guess and you had to say, somebody had a gun to your head and said, what's the likelihood Hugh's going to be back next year? Where do you go with that? I mean, do you think he's going to be back?
No, he's like the only way I see him coming back. The ownership has to be stupid, honestly. But the only way he comes back is we make the playoffs.
Do you agree with the fact that they let him coach this year?
Do I agree? No.
Agree with that idea that they did that?
Yeah,
because I think
right.
most Browns fans would not agree with it. They would say
I understand it though. Like you were saying the other day,
he was 1-31.
Like he was gonna go down as the worst ever.
Yeah, he was going to go down as the worst ever. It was kind of like a situation like, you remember, I don't know, how much NBA you watch, but the Philadelphia 76ers, they're tanking. They have Brett Brown as the coach, and he's probably was going to go down as one of the worst coaches ever in a situation where they knew that team was not set up to win, And so when you look at Hue Jackson, it's kind of the same situation where you totally stripped the entire team of players. And now you're seeing really reaping the benefit. Here's a Browns team right now that's as competitive as any team in the NFL. When they go into a game, you probably guess and say to yourself that they can probably win just about any game that they go into. And they have the most cap space. They have probably one of the primary best drafters in the NFL, and John Dorsey.
Very young team with a lot of talent.
And they have nowhere else to go but up. I mean, from 0-16.
You look at all our oldest guys, are like Jarvis Landry at 25. They're in their prime. This is Mitchell, 26, in his prime. So
you don't think Hue will be back next year?
I think there's a chance.
What's the chance? Because I think even if they do great, let's say they do fantastic, I think everybody will give that credit to Todd Haley,
I think it's 50-50.
I don't want to see him come back next year. That's all I'm saying. I would like to see Greg Williams take over as head coach personally. And I know Greg Williams has had his problems, but that's the greatest defense I've seen probably in 15, 20 years.
The thing is, my question is, Hue, in those last 2 years, he was a bad coach. A lot of things happened that I don't think he was that bad when he started. A lot of things happened and he broke. You know what I mean? He broke. So, can he be revived? That's what I'm wondering. Can he become a better coach?
And Hard Knocks has been on this year, so you really kind of get to see the way that they actually are. And Hue always came off to me as kind of weak. And sometimes I think that sometimes good coordinators aren't good head coaches. I think he's an excellent offensive coordinator. I think he could, be a great quarterback coach for a team, but I don't think I'd want him running.
But here's the thing about Hue Jackson. I don't think he's the best coach. He's not strong. I don't think he's strong. But these people love to play for him. And I seen that in the locker room. I've seen it in those videos.
Some of them.
They love to play.
He makes questionable choices.
Yeah, he does.
And the thing with Antonio Callaway during the preseason, when Antonio Callaway got caught in the car and got arrested, and then Hue decided he would punish him by making him play as many snaps as physically possible.
Ridiculous.
That doesn't make sense to me.
He earned a spot like that. But
and then the whole stripe thing, taking the stripe off the helmet and making players like Jamie Collins, earn their stripe. Maybe that's why Joe Thomas didn't come back. Because Joe Thomas didn't like the idea that he was going to have to earn his stripe back after 10 years and being a Hall of Fame left tackle,
Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is I honestly still have a little hope left for Hue. I still have a little hope left for him.
I do. I have hope for him on another team.
Nah, okay.
So when it comes down to your pick for this game, Cleveland, Chargers, you obviously like Cleveland as far as a pick.
I like Cleveland. Chargers are streaky. No Joey Bosa, and I think that's the big thing for us.
Absolutely.
I would say 28-17, the Browns win. Myles Garrett gets a few sacks, maybe a strip fumble.
Okay, I like 27-20, and I want to see the run game take off like it hasn't all year. And I know it's been really good. We're one of the best run games in the
Yeah, we
NFL,
are.
but I want to
Top
say
five.
it take off even more. I want to see Nick Chubbs get carries. I want to see Duke Johnson get carries. I want Carlos Hyde to continue to do what he's doing.
This is a game to run, and it really is.
I think they can run on the defensive line because I think their secondary is really strong.
They are, but how strong are you with that play action after you've been running all day?
Probably pretty good,
I think
but
Baker Mayfield
even
has a
still,
shot.
I think the secondary is pretty strong. I think it might be a really good game for Njoku. I think
you're right.
he could have a big game.
Let's see what Myles Garrett with those pressures might get a few picks. Phillips is great, but that's our preview, guys. Hope to see you guys next week.